Oh, we're going to continue on with my little series about the Leatherman Wave Plus in the black oxide treatment. This is a treatment that actually doesn't lay on top of it, but rather goes into the metal a little ways. It's actually a fancy way to control rust or oxidation of the metal and have the tool change this color. Now, we mentioned before, there's basically two reasons why you would do this. One is to extend the life of your knife or part that might be colored this, because even though it's rust, it's a thin layer and it completely encases something. And so more, water and oxygen or whatever aren't going to create that much rust, because there's actually a little barrier to get through. And the other reason is that, especially with the military, you don't want to be doing something that makes a flash so that someone can see it. Like, you can see the difference between what you see here with the belt loop. I'm not having the sun hit it directly, but in this side, obviously this matte finish is going to be much more discreet. So you could take out a tool and use it without having this thing that's going to reflect a bunch of light and someone sees right where you are. Okay, so anyway, now that we've got this now, and it's added a layer of care to it. I mean, the Leatherman silver, the normal colors, these are both stainless steel. Normally, there's not much to do with it except to clean it and, maybe oil some of the joints once in a while. And that was it. But with this, we are going to do something to it to protect the finish. In other words, we bought it with the finish. We're going to try to keep it with the finish as long as we can. But it is a finish that's going to wear off. And the more you use it, the more it's going to wear off. And that's just, as they say on their site, it's just the nature of the beast. And I've noticed a few marks already in the thing, and I've only had it, a few days. But again, that doesn't bother me at all. So I'm at our local hardware store, and I'm looking, and they recommended, they had a couple recommendations of what to use, and one of them was CRC 36-3. I'm looking through all these things, and I finally find a spray can of it. It's like $16, and I'm like, wow, that's more than I want to spend. Well, plus two, I want to put, since we're following the theme of maybe using this because you've got, the first video of it is with the arthritis. You've got arthritis, you're using this. Well, you might be using it in the house on food. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a non-toxic option for protecting the matte finish, the black oxide, and that's mineral oil. Now, mineral oil can be used for lubrication, but it can also be used, I've never tried this, for relief of occasional constipation. So, I mean, it's edible. You just don't want to eat too much, but I would assume, let me see, I never looked at the dosings. 1 or 2 tablespoons. And for adults, is it tablespoons or teaspoons? Oh my goodness. My eyes are so bad now. But anyway, this direction on the back for it. So it is a product that's consumable. And did I say, yeah, it was actually $2 cheaper at the grocery store. But, I was there looking at the oils and I bought it. And then I thought to myself, on the way out, I thought, could I have gotten, yeah, I could have got it cheaper at the grocery store. And, we've got one of those little seals on there. And once I've opened it now, my hands are oily and I can't get it open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in to get rid of that little, the safety seal that they have on these things. So now I'm not going to use this for anything but protecting the knife. Now, if I was going to use this for something else too, I think I'd pour this into a separate container, then take from that. But like I say, I never had this problem of constipation. It's always the opposite direction. So this would be like deadly for me to take. This so I saw this and made me laugh so hard when I saw it. There's a T-shirt you can buy, and it says, ask me about my explosive diarrhea." What a conversation starter. But basically what we're going to do is we're just going to wipe everything. Every surface that we can get at, we're going to wipe. I'm going to take the clip off. The clip is locking. You press down on the lock, and then you can pull this up. Eventually I'm going to try to, I don't know what I'll do, how I'll do it, but I'm going to try to turn that black somehow, part of it anyway. I mean, obviously you could spray paint it and just not do the part where it interfaces and slits in, fits in. Now, we don't have to worry about the file. And, but let's just get everything. We want to be getting the, well, down at the base of the file, there's some too. And you can see this is going on. You can see that it's, you know, oily after I do it. Big surprise, right? That's what we're supposed to be. And the locking blades each time. Now it's interesting, the saw, oh no, the saw is also, the teeth themselves, the back side of the teeth are not coated in the black oxide either. I would assume for them to do that, they would have coated the piece first before they sharpened it. It would be too complicated to do it any other way. And same with the file. I think what they did with the file was they probably just dipped it basically, or taped it off, whatever. So we've got the other knife to do. I've noticed too, you know, carrying this in your pocket versus carrying it in the pouch, I've noticed the knife stays quite a bit cleaner than in your pocket. At least my pockets anyway. And, you know, they just don't get the sand and the dirt or whatever. You know, I'm foraging for mushrooms and doing all kinds of crazy things. So it does get, my pockets do get some interesting stuff in them, I guess. And that ends up in the, you know, in the multi-tools. I have a Swiss Army knife, and you know, carrying that in my pocket, you know, rattling around in my pocket type thing, it does get junk in it. So, and I have found that using these for foods, you probably want to, you know, wipe them down after you get done and clean them or whatever, because they will start binding up. In other words, if you're using one of the blades to cut with, eventually some of that's going to get down into the actual joint. And I don't think there's any way to prevent that, really. So, you know, if you're using it in the house, you're probably going to be, with food, you're probably going to be cleaning it much more often. But again, that's no big deal to me anyway. We've got our scissor. Oops, no, we've got the bit driver. I have this little fantasy of thinking that I could make my own things to fit on here. Something that someone commented on one of the videos that they actually swapped out some of these parts from parts from another Leatherman. And you can do that to some extent. Some you can't, because they just won't fit, or they're made to fit with something else. So sometimes you can't. Then we've got the and these do lock too. I mentioned this before. I really like the idea of the saw locking, because that's just something. You know, I got it with me just for comparison to show you. In my pocket. I think I got it in my pocket. Yeah, this knife, nice knife, but one of the things wrong with it, I would say, is the idea that uh, that I'm going the wrong direction to try to get the. You got this nice saw here, but again, the saw doesn't lock on this, so there is a potential. It's interesting how you see that isn't a straight line, and I think they probably did that on purpose to help protect your hand to some degree. I don't know, but with this one, it locks, which I think is really good. Again, if we're oldsters, right? We're going to do things that young people might, their hands might not slip on things that our hands would slip on. Is that, I'm saying this as polite as I can. You know, I don't want the other old fogies out there like me to be insulted by what I say, but basically, oh, it is what it is. That's a new thing you say. When someone says, well, this shouldn't be this way, it should be this way. You just say back to them, it is what it is. If they ask you what that means, just say, well, it means whatever it is, it is. You don't really have to, you don't have to answer questions at all. I use a response. Someone, I had a video that I had done in the house, and it was really quick, and I was moving the camera around. Evidently, there was a little too much shake in it. And the guy says, do you have Parkinson's disease or something? I should have wrote back to him and said, how did you know? And made him feel guilty. And then I could tell him at the end that I just made that up. But I just told him, it is what it is. It's so much easier than really coming out with some detailed explanation. And oh, look, you can see looks like I'm getting some of the coating off. Reread on them saying, oh, I got this news update saying they've decided you should never put mineral oil on your multi-tool. I don't think that's going to happen, but there we have it. And I would say it's, of course, the oil on there, it make it slightly more shiny, which is no big deal. And but there we go. Now we've protected it. Now we're all set. We can continue to use it, and the black will stay on there longer. It's the same type of idea that the bluing process that you use with guns and things like that. One reason you use gun oil, again, is to coat that and preserve that finish, because you don't want that, you don't want rust going on your, your gun, because it's really critical what the surfaces be the right thing that they're supposed to be. You don't want to have a gun and you shoot it and there's rust in the barrel. That's probably not going to be a good thing, probably mostly for you firing it on. But there we have it. Ta-da! And like I say, there it is, all new. Now, I've noticed, I even called them once about cleaning the Leatherman, and they were like, soap and water, that's all you can use. Soap and water, all you can use. But I don't know. On the website, it seems like I saw some other things. But there we go. Protect your Leatherman Wave Plus or any other type of knife with black oxide. And we've chosen to use a non-toxic, although you definitely don't want to be, lapping it off your knife. I guess if you get a teaspoon or something, you'll know that you took it. Bye.